Welcome, beautiful souls. What if I told you that someone has been carrying a secret about you for much longer than you realize, and they're finally reaching the point where they can't keep it hidden anymore? Think about it for a moment. Have you ever caught someone looking at you just a little too long, only for them to quickly look away? Have you ever felt that strange silence between two people that somehow says more than words ever could? Or maybe you've had an unexplainable feeling that someone is holding back something important, but you could never prove it. That feeling isn't always your imagination. Sometimes the strongest emotions are the ones that are never spoken. They live in lingering glances, unfinished conversations, missed opportunities, and the invisible connection that refuses to fade no matter how much time or distance comes between two people. And today, we're uncovering a message that suggests someone may finally be ready to tell you the truth they've been hiding all along. Well, today's message points toward something extraordinary. A powerful shift is happening in your love life, and it centers around a confession that has been waiting beneath the surface for far longer than you realize. This isn't a fleeting attraction or a passing crush. This is the story of someone whose feelings have quietly grown stronger every single day. For a long time, they've kept their emotions hidden. Not because those feelings weren't real, but because fear often speaks louder than the heart. Fear of rejection, fear of changing everything, fear of risking a connection they deeply value. So instead of speaking, they watched. Instead of confessing, they reflected. Instead of moving forward, they convinced themselves that silence was safer, yet something has changed. The emotional walls they've built around themselves are beginning to crack. The truth has become too heavy to carry in silence. Every memory you've shared together keeps replaying in their mind. The little conversations, the laughter, the unexpected moments, even the quiet pauses between you. To you, these moments may have seemed ordinary, but to them, they became unforgettable. Without even realizing it, you've left a lasting impression on their heart. They've tried to move on. They've tried to distract themselves. They've told themselves they were imagining things. But every attempt only brought them back to the same conclusion. Their feelings are real, and they aren't going away. What's even more interesting is that this person hasn't simply been thinking about you. They've been preparing themselves. They've been working on becoming someone they believe deserves a genuine chance with you. Perhaps they've focused on improving their career, building financial stability, healing emotional wounds from the past, learning from previous relationships, growing into a stronger, more mature version of themselves. Because deep inside, they don't want to approach you with uncertainty. They want to come toward you with confidence, with honesty, with something meaningful to offer. This isn't someone chasing temporary excitement. They're searching for something lasting, something built on trust, respect, loyalty, and genuine emotional connection. That inner transformation is creating momentum. The hesitation that once kept them frozen is slowly disappearing. They're beginning to understand that waiting won't protect them anymore. It will only create regret. And sometimes the greatest risk isn't expressing your feelings. It's wondering forever what might have happened if you had. That's exactly where they find themselves today. Their heart has become louder than their fear, which means communication is drawing closer. For some of you, this may arrive as an unexpected text message. For others, it could be a phone call. And for some, it may happen face-to-face during a conversation you never saw coming. However it happens, one thing stands out clearly. Their words won't be confusing. They won't hide behind mixed signals. They won't leave you guessing. This conversation carries emotional weight. It's been building for far too long to remain hidden. When they finally speak, they'll reveal something they've struggled to admit even to themselves. They'll tell you that somewhere along the way, you became incredibly important to them, far more important than they ever expected. This confession isn't driven by impulse. It's the result of months or even years of reflection. Every doubt they've faced has slowly transformed into certainty. Every fear has gradually been replaced by courage, and now they're ready to choose honesty over silence. One beautiful aspect of this connection is its emotional depth. Not every relationship creates this kind of lasting impact. Some people enter our lives briefly. Others change us forever. This feels like the second kind. Even if there has been distance between you, even if life pulled you onto separate paths, the emotional bond never completely disappeared. Sometimes two people continue affecting each other, without saying a single word. It's as though an invisible thread keeps pulling them back together. That's exactly the energy surrounding this connection. If misunderstandings or emotional confusion existed in the past, those clouds are beginning to clear. Old questions are finding answers. Old doubts are losing their power. The truth is becoming easier to recognize. Both of you are entering a season where honesty matters more than assumptions, and that's where real relationships begin. Not through perfection, but through vulnerability. This person is finally understanding that love isn't about pretending to be fearless. It's about being willing to risk rejection for something that truly matters. That's an incredibly powerful realization. Because once someone reaches that point, everything changes. Their actions begin matching their emotions. Their intentions become clear. Their future starts including you. In fact, they may already be imagining what life together could actually look like. Not just romantic dates, but everyday life, supporting each other after difficult days, celebrating victories together, creating traditions, traveling, laughing over small moments. Building a peaceful home filled with trust. These aren't temporary fantasies. They're visions of commitment, of stability, of partnership. For some, this energy may even point toward long-term commitment, living together, or eventually marriage. Because this person isn't searching for excitement alone. They're searching for home. And somehow, home feels like you. What's equally important is your own transformation. You've spent time healing, learning, growing stronger through disappointment, releasing people who couldn't meet you halfway. Slowly, you've stopped accepting confusion as love. You've begun recognizing your own worth. Because of that growth, you're no longer looking for someone who simply says the right things. You want someone whose actions consistently reflect their words. Fortunately, that's exactly what this energy suggests. This person's affection isn't built on dramatic promises. It's built on consistency, showing up, keeping their word, being emotionally available, protecting your peace instead of disturbing it. That's the kind of love that lasts, not because it's perfect, but because it's dependable. There may still be outside influences trying to create doubt. Sometimes other people project their fears onto meaningful relationships. Sometimes jealousy appears when happiness begins finding its way to someone else. But those outside voices don't define your future. Real connections grow stronger when honesty becomes louder than opinions. And that's exactly what's happening here. The emotional foundation between you is becoming stronger than fear, distance, or interference. Soon a conversation arrives that changes everything. One honest confession, one vulnerable moment. One decision to stop hiding, and suddenly uncertainty begins disappearing. You'll likely notice something remarkable. Instead of feeling pressure, you'll feel clarity. Instead of confusion, you'll feel understanding. Instead of wondering where you stand, you'll finally know. That kind of emotional certainty is rare. It's the beginning of something genuine, something stable, something worth protecting. The beautiful part is that this relationship isn't only about passion. Yes, attraction exists. Chemistry is undeniable. But beneath that spark lies something much deeper. Comfort, safety, acceptance, the ability to simply be yourself without fear of judgment. Those are the qualities that create lasting love. Imagine sharing quiet evenings together. Simple conversations that somehow become unforgettable. Supporting one another through life's challenges. Finding happiness in ordinary moments because you're sharing them with the right person. That's the future this energy points toward. Not a fantasy, but a partnership built one honest conversation at a time. If you've been wondering whether someone has been holding back their true feelings, the answer seems clearer than ever. Yes, they have. But silence has reached its limit. The heart can only hide for so long before it demands to be heard. That moment is approaching now. Their confession carries sincerity, their intentions carry maturity, and their desire to build something lasting has become impossible to ignore. This chapter of your life isn't defined by waiting anymore. It's defined by movement, by truth, by emotional courage. Sometimes the greatest love stories don't begin with grand gestures. They begin with one person finding the strength to say the words they've carried inside for far too long. Perhaps that's exactly what's about to happen. So as you move forward, remain open, not to fantasy, but to honest communication, not to empty promises, but to consistent actions. Because when someone truly values you, they won't leave you wondering where you stand. They'll make it known. And if this message resonates with your journey, remember this. The strongest relationships are built when two hearts stop hiding and finally choose honesty over fear. Your next chapter may begin with nothing more than a conversation, but that single conversation could become the moment that changes everything.